Hey, what's up? I just wanted to run down a quick video that I made of an accessory that I was having Ty do just before the gym closed. One of the things that took me a long time to realize is that on the deadlift, the lockout is finished by your glutes. I always, for the longest time, thought I was like maybe like your lower back or your hips, because people would always say, pull your hips through, and saying pull your hips through to me didn't help me pull my hips through. That sounds weird, but everybody says push your hips through, and that just never clicked for me. And to be honest, I don't know who it was that said squeeze your ass. Now, if you're standing in your deadlift position, whether you're sumo or you're conventional, squeeze your ass. Just stand there in your position and just squeeze your ass. And what happens? As soon as you squeeze your ass, hips come forward. It's just automatic. Once I started realizing that your glutes are what finished, my deadlifts really took off. I was at a stalemate for a long time, and as soon as I started training stuffs related to glutes and started using the cue squeeze your glutes instead of put your hips through, my deadlift took off. So I like to give different kind of creative accessory movements that teach you to pull your hips through or squeeze your glutes at the top without the person necessarily having to be conscious of it. Because let's face it, there's a lot of people who don't think when they're lifting, a lot of people who do think when they're lifting. There's people who, when they start, they just go and they're not conscious of what they're doing, but there's people who are. So a really good accessory movement for teaching you how to squeeze your glutes at lockout is no, not yet. Freya's trying to get in. A good accessory work, I don't know what you would call it. I like to take a spud strap. You can use a spud like belt squat strap. You can use a band, chains. You just need to put something around your waist and then down through your legs that's pulling behind you, so the tension is pulling you back. This will be followed with a video of Ty doing the movement, so if it's confusing, you'll be able to see what it is. So you need to set the band tension pulling you to where when you stand at lockout, glute squeeze, hip forward, that it's moderately challenging to stand up without pulling it over. You don't want the band tension so tight that you can't even stand. Like you're trying to stand up and the bands are pulling you so hard you can't even stand. But you also don't want so light to where you could stand there all day and there's no problem. You're going to want to find a happy medium to where you have to focus in order to not fall over. I like to do these partial range of motion. The main focus is just the last part where you're squeezing. So usually I like to do it as either a block pull or a rack pull, starting with the bar under your knees. That's just kind of standard for me across the board. Block or rack pulls I always do just below the knee. I don't like to do above the knee and it's just super easy to squat up with it. I feel like if it's below the knee, you still have to engage your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back. So you are going to do your block or your rack pull with the band tension pulling you back. And as you get closer to lockout, you are going to find that if you don't emphasize squeezing your glutes to bring that band tension forward, you're not going to lock out, or it's going to be really hard to lock out, or you're going to fall forward. So consciously or unconsciously, that band tension is forcing you to squeeze and pull forward, and it should be set up to where as soon as you're getting to lockout, that band tension is really picking up and you really have to focus on squeezing. I found this was extremely helpful to people who are trying to learn how to engage your glutes at lockout, and teaching you how to do that last little part of lockout where you snap. So After this, I will include the video of Ty doing the work. I like to do it as a second or third accessory on deadlift day. You can keep it as the same as your stance, whether it's conventional or sumo, or you can switch it up and do the opposite stance. Either way, it's going to force you to squeeze your glutes and bring everything through and lock out. Rep range usually is like 5 to 8. I don't like to push it too hard on the bar weight because it will be challenging enough just to bring your hips through and focus on that. But I want the bar weight challenging to where, you know, it's the whole lift itself is going to be hard. So find a weight that's going to give you a rep range of about 5 to 8 reps, and you can always keep changing that too. So yeah, hope this helped, and give it a try on your next slower day.